And welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, RFQ Refugees podcast. Ted here, John's here.
Hello.
We are back. We are here. We're ready to go, aren't we, John? Are we ready to go?
We are definitely ready to go. We've never been more ready to go than we are right now at 8:31 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yes, John. I'm gonna throw John under the bus and just say he made the show 8:00, which caused me to be rushed and not able to respond to technical difficulties.
And you do not want to see Ted when he's rushed. Like everything, all of the spoons fall out of his pocket, and the walls come crumbled down. We are now good to go at the 8:30 time that we usually go at, and I don't think too many people were inconvenienced. So, thank you to the two of you who were trying to join ahead of time, and we will admit you to the room very soon.
Very soon, yes. That's I don't know what the plan. I guess we had a lot of people out. We actually have 5 people waiting right now in the room.
Great, bring them all in. So the plan is, this is a new thing. We've never done this before. So here's the reason why I'm doing this. I've been on Zoom calls every friggin' second of my life that I think most people probably are joining me in this weird world that we're now in. But it's funny. I think it's cool to see what people are doing and what people are up to. People have learned how the background works. We're gonna mute everybody as they come in, and then we'll open it up after we talk about the few things that are going on. So, Ted, as you're admitting people, do you want me to get started on a little bit of news that's come out as of late?
Let's get right to it. Let's get absolutely right to it. Yeah, man. Should we talk? Let's talk. I want to talk the recent news. Not at all DC related, not at all soccer related, but definitely financially DC impactful. Which is the fact that the XFL has now officially folded. It is now looking like it's not coming back. They've actually filed for bankruptcy now. I believe they now owe the team a grand total of $315,000 is what I saw.
Something around that rate. This is a pay in advance situation. I think we've learned when you're dealing with a league that has folded once before, make sure you get your money ahead of time and make sure the check clears, instead of letting them go on a pay-as-you-go arrangement, which it appears what they were able to do, unfortunately.
Well, I think what they wanted, I think they trusted that that Vince McMahon was good for his money and he would pay. And I think things were going along swimmingly until this little thing called the coronavirus seemed to hit, and we're kind of stuck here. And I don't know. It stinks. It stinks for the team. It stinks for a lot of the people who showed up to the games and were fans of the game. But I'm curious how it's going to impact what the team's able to do. Because I'm sure this is money they probably had written, somewhere on a spreadsheet. Here's how much we're going to get for the next 3 years, and now that money is gone.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it, I think, in the last time we had a regular podcast, which was, I think we may have talked about this on our exclusive Twitch stream where we were playing each other in FIFA and talking about stuff. We were saying that the concept of this team being players in the transfer market at all right now is really, really questionable. Like, I think that you are looking at a team who is already cash strapped before all of the games just got canceled and then they couldn't have any sort of game day revenue. And you're looking at a team that's probably going to be playing very heavily their youth players or players that they're able to acquire for free or very little. So I think that most teams are going to be in that spot. I think maybe some of the independently wealthy owners are able to weather the storm a little bit better, which has always been the case, right? Like the rich will be able to somehow manage this crisis better than the people who are a little bit in a tougher situation. So this certainly, the XFL situation does not help them. I don't think in the large scheme of things, it was going to make a big difference to the team on the field. But it's still unfortunate, and it's still, the point of having this stadium and sort of making it, multi-purpose in a lot of ways was that you could, when you weren't using it, make some money out of it. And right now they can't make any money out of it at all. And when I went there a week ago, they had, and I think we talked about this on the Twitch stream too, the field goal posts are up. And I think that's just because there's nowhere else to put them. And because they were, DC, I think, were the last users of the field. And I don't believe that the Defenders had a game after that. But either way, bit of a bummer. Not the largest bummer. I would say a bigger bummer than that would be the fact that the team has had to furlough most of the front office now, it appears. So according to Goff, the coaching staff is taking a 20% pay deferral. So they'll get that money. They just won't get it right away. Including Loudoun United's coach, Ryan Martin, who was on a 1-year contract and got an extension because he did the deferral. They've laid off all but a few of the team's front office staff. I think that they've obviously kept the person who's doing social media and video because that's been ever present. But other than that, like the game day staff not getting paid, they're still, as Dan pointed out, they're still charging the season ticket holders every month. So that's money coming in the door, I guess, at least. And they're talking about sort of like that money will be used for games in the future, but I don't know how confident. And let's open this up to Dan here in a second. Can I unmute you? Let's see if I can do that. Nope, I can't. Unmute Dan in a second. How confident are you that you're going to actually get value for your dollar for this season?
Very, very little confidence that I'm actually going to get all the games that I'm paying for, that they will be provided in a format that I will be able to attend them.
All the fam, though, Dan. You're going to be able to probably coach a game, potentially do some sort of like left back for a week if you want. There's got to be something that they've got to make you whole somehow. I don't know how it's going to be. All the Loudoun United games you want on top of it, perhaps.
Yeah, I mean, maybe if they pay for my Uber out to Loudoun.
I mean, I have heard. So I know USL apparently they have given. I think the date they're looking to come back is July. I'm not sure how likely that is. I just went ahead and I dropped the rest of the money on my season tickets just to stop them replenishing the monthly fee, and I had the money to do it. I guess I was more looking at the fact that I want to support a potentially struggling club, but I can understand from the DC perspective and the multi-millionaire owners perspective, who owns the club versus who owns the Richmond Kickers. Not to say Matt Spears and a couple of the other guys probably aren't very, very well off. I just don't think they're as quite as wealthy and as a lot of the DC owners. But I don't know if they just defer all those to next season. I don't know. I don't know how you do that. How do you handle all of that?
And I gotta say too, I don't think it really matters much how much money these owners have. None of them are going to go in their pocket to offset any of these costs. I mean, the whole reason they bought it in MLS is because there's limited financial exposure for owners. So it doesn't matter. Like if the money isn't there, the money isn't there. If the league isn't paying for it, they're probably not going to pay for it. They just installed their solar panels last week, so they're still doing things that they probably projected revenue out in advance for. And I bet you there's some sort of LEED certification requirement there for that as well. That's good, but the money situation is weird. The worst part is that it was kind of a bummer note. They were like, yes, we laid off a lot of these employees, but to be honest, they're going to get a lot more money from unemployment than they would have working for the team, even before the additional $600. So that gives you like a nice little window into just sort of like how lucrative this sport is at this level. But it's unfortunate for people trying to figure out how they're going to make things work. And every date they throw out, whether it's May or June, it all feels wildly optimistic and not based at all on what's really going to happen. So in my mind, the season maybe doesn't come back. And they certainly do not get in the full complement of the games. That's not possible in any way. I think they should stop saying that. I think that's a season ticket holder thing. I think that's why they're doing that. I don't think it's anything about logistics and being reasonable. I think it's just like, well, if we don't say that, then we've got to figure something out, and we don't want to figure something out across the league. It's too complicated.
Yeah. I think it's all just they're trying to be as optimistic as possible. It's going to be when it becomes so painfully obvious that there's just no way the season is going to come back. That's when they are going to wait this out tooth and nail, because literally they have nothing. There's no reason not to. There's no reason to wait. I mean, they could literally, say we're still going to be planning to play the full games, through June, July. And then once it turns August, September, that's when you're suddenly like, okay, now you're either coming back or you're not coming back. A lot of people have talked about this being an opportunity for them to quote unquote get on the European calendar. I don't know how realistic that is. I don't know. It's a crazy, crazy situation that we are that we are in.
We're talking about Chris Durkin's other bit of news. So there's very little bit to talk about, guys. So we're gonna stretch it and get everybody's thoughts on everything. But Chris Durkin apparently still in the market. $2 million is still the target price. I'm curious to see if they get that. I'm curious to see if I'm curious who has the leverage right now in player acquisition when the market's on fire and everyone has a virus. Like DC's doesn't have to sell, I guess, theoretically. He could come back, but he's also fourth in the depth chart, and clearly the team in Belgium wants him more than DC does. So it'd be great if they could get $2 million. That's that offsets some cost for the XFL not existing anymore, and they get, I believe, since he's a homegrown, they get 100% of the sale on that. So good business from my perspective. I think I remember when he went on loan, I was like, man, I really wish he would stay around. I think that he would have been but at this point, let's cash in if we can cash in.
And you have to come in from the club perspective. You missed out on Bill Hamid getting any sort of money for him. You've missed out on players like Perry Kitchen. You've missed out on guys like Luciano Acosta last season. I am thinking this is going to be a club now where, they're going to send a guy on loan, and they are going to say, and then if they come back and they say they want him, say, great, let's figure out the price. Because I think they're tired of. Yeah, you have to. I think from any perspective of the team, you're tired of getting burned. Because he could have waited out his contract and then he leaves on a free and you get nothing for him. So I mean, $2 million, at least you're getting something for him. I think this would be their highest transfer if they paid the $2 million. I think this is how. For this Belgian club, I believe I remember.
Oh no, they bought somebody this last window from, I believe, Brazil for a little bit more money. It would have been if they had signed him when they initially loaned him, but they splashed the cash, a couple more $1 million. So they're doing that. That's good.
It would be really strange to sell him in this.
I know what I'm saying. I don't know what the dynamic is for the market. If you're watching any of the, I don't know, what would you call it, like replacement level content for like soccer stuff, like indoor soccer on FS1 or continuing to watch what's the show ESPN FC, like they're really like so let's talk about transfer rumors, I guess. Like and there's a lot of that, and I don't know if it's just sort of the machine continuing to run and just like throwing names out of the generator so that people have something to read, but there are teams talking about buying. There was somebody today, I'm trying to remember who was on Twitter, was saying that they think MLS is uniquely positioned to be in a strong buyer's like spot because they're less likely, teams are less likely to be leveraged in MLS because of the single entity structure than other teams are around the world. So that would be, I guess, cool if that were to happen, but I'm not super confident. Dan says ESPN Plus needs to pick up the rights to the Nicaraguan league, also the Belarusian league, which I watch on YouTube, and I recommend all of you do the same. It's I don't know if it was just the way the game I was watching played out, but they all appeared to be giving each other 6 feet. Like no one was really pressing. Like they really seemed to be adhering to the protocol. So that's good at least.
That's good. I think let's get some thoughts. Let's get Gregory into the show. Gregory Koch, a longtime supporter of the show. I think I unmuted you. Gregory, what's up, man? How you doing?
It asked me to unmute me. I could have just unmuted me, but anyway.
Thank you for letting us keep the power.
Yes.
I appreciate it.
Cool.
Like the power.
Yeah, you have the power, but I still had to agree to be unmuted, so I have power too.
So yeah, the consent of the governed, I guess. So you're also a season ticket holder, right? I believe.
Yes.
So money's still coming out of your pocket. Did you defer for April as they so kindly offered?
No, I did not, because I'm fortunate enough to still have a job and still have a source of income. So I figured I'd keep it as usual. And
they've got, they're going to do something, right? Like I don't know what it is. It won't be the amount of games that they promised. They've got to figure out a way to make you whole. I can't imagine a universe in which we play no games and you get all your money just goes away. Like that won't happen.
They'll probably do something stupid like use it as a credit for 2021.
That was my thought. That's what I probably think that they would do. But then the issue there is, then imagine if they did that for everybody. And then what are their books like for 2021 when all of their season ticket holders, seats they can't sell again, are basically free?
Yeah, that's true. But
I don't know what they're going to do.
It just kicks the can down the road.
Right.
Though, so
yeah, I just don't know. I don't know what they're going to do.
Or I don't know. They could do something worse, like just give us a ton of FAM that we can't use for anything.
They could give you FAM. They could give you They could give you Team Store money. they could give
Yes, oh
you
boy, with my season tickets, I could buy one
a couple
sock.
jerseys, maybe. You know, who
Everything's
knows?
so overpriced, though. I'd
Right,
probably just
that's
be
right.
able to buy a
One
sock.
jersey, maybe.
Not one sock, not even a pair of socks, one sock.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, what? Can you think of a thing that they could do that would make you okay with the continuing of the money coming out, other than like, so you defer to 2021, not really great from their perspective or really from your perspective.
Yeah.
You think maybe just stop taking your money now, just like hold until the season comes back? What would make sense to you?
But then what if it doesn't come back and they've already taken my money? What do they do with that money?
Yeah, I think it's easier to roll a partial portion, a couple months over to 2021 and then
But I
bill you
mean,
out.
I've been paying since August, I think, or September, and there have been 2 games. So
Well, then you're
they've
gonna.
already. So assuming they don't do something by Wednesday, then it's only going to be. They'll already have taken 2/3 of my money.
I mean, I think maybe what they do is they potentially they give a discount to 2020 season ticket holders on 2021 seats, and then with that you get maybe you get upgraded seats. You each get.
Who's upgraded seats? Because they're getting seats too. So well, okay, whose seats do I? So how does that work though? Because the people who had those seats before need to get something too. Do we?
They get to go on the bench. So if they were Eagle Bank, they now become members of the team. And if players on the team then get to go to better teams, I think is the way they're going to have to do it. Everybody moves up one seat. That's the only way to make it work. Rich,
My is you get fam and stuff like that, and then you apply that to upgrade seats to like box type seats. I mean, I was thinking something along those lines. I don't know. It's going to be I don't know. It's going to be an interesting thing. You're in control, John. Who do you want?
I'm trying to unmute Rich.
Rich, I muted Rich.
What's up?
Would you? So you would take your build balance for the team store and go buck wild on DC United gear?
Dude, I probably spend almost as much as I spend in the tickets on the team store.
Same.
So, I mean, I went and said, okay, I'm not getting a new jersey. And then I bought a new jersey. And then, they're actually pretty cool. Like, would you remember the first game? It was cold as crap. We got there early and there was somebody in one of the security guards was like, hey, we're selling, because they knew we were season ticket holders. They were like, hey, they're selling sweatshirts for $20 down at the second team store. And so we went down there and I got like a really cool DCU hoodie for $20. And they always have lots of good stuff on the clearance racks. And, I don't know about him, but, I bitched last year. I said, we didn't get anything. And they sent a really nice 25th anniversary scarf set this year.
Mm-hmm.
And I have an extra one if you guys need one.
Sure.
They're a really,
we'll hang it
really, yeah, I mean, they're awesome. And then a pin and a patch and all that in a nice box. And I'm like, it's worth it to me. A lot of people bitch about how much the, it was for last year to watch the games. And I was like, it's not that much. The problem is that it sucked.
Right,
the streaming sucked, and I couldn't like start it from the beginning. Like what pisses me off is the little stuff. Like if I come in the middle of the game, I can't start it at the beginning. I have to wait till it's done, and little things like that. And the player didn't work and all that, but
and it didn't have a Fire TV up until halfway through the season.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm a Fire TV guy, so that pissed me off to no end too. But in the end, if I'm paying, I wish it was on ESPN Plus. I think that's a great deal I got it with the Disney Channel and all that, so now I get it for free. But the, with the kids, that's key to have. So it would be great if it was on there, but I don't care if it's $5 a month, and I don't care if I have to pay for my season tickets. I feel like, I'm supporting the team and they're going to compensate me and help me out later, and
yeah, there's no way they don't make it right, Rich. There's no way that, I mean, they seem to with the scarf and the box and the pin, like they seem to be a group of people that listen to feedback. Everyone hated the gift card from last year. They're like, we have to do something different. And then they did something different. So I think there's no way that, they don't figure out a way to make this right somehow. If it's financially, if it's like perk based or whatever they're going to do, they're going to make something better. What do you guys think? Go ahead.
If you go to the games, okay, and you get FAM, you can use the FAM at the team store. You can use it to get food. I can get like Like last year at the end of the season, they had the big thing with the player meet. They had all kinds of great team gear, and you could use your fam on that. And and I got all kinds. I got like this that RFK farewell to RFK scarf.
Mhm.
It's badass.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then you use it on food, and then half the stands don't take it, and then then the pupusa stand suddenly decided halfway through the season after I'd already exchanged for fam that they weren't going to take it, and then I'm like, well, now what am I supposed to do with all these concession vouchers? Now what?
I had a lot
Beer.
I had a lot of very average hamburgers when that happened to me. That was my solution. I was like, oh, I guess I'll just have 6 hamburgers, please, on the last game of the season. That'll be great. What do you guys think about? The team like us are desperately trying to figure out a way to continue to create content and make, try to fill some time and void that we're trying to do. They had the team didn't do this, but the league had the first MLS. I think it was the first MLS Cup, and Bill Hamid was a guest announcer. I think that was great. Like, I think that and it doesn't have to be all MLS Cups. Like, it could just be games. There are enough people that they could bring in to, I would love to see some games from like my era of when they were really bad. I'm like 2010, 2011, 2012. Bring me, John Thorrington's one season back in DC United. Have him talk about how horrible it was to play on that team. I think that would be cool, and it's free. And what else are they going to do? And I understand that they've cut sort of their capabilities and stuff, but they have, there's a large backlog of stuff that they could be playing.
Just please remove the darn geo-locked fencing.
No, Ted, move. Sorry, man. The only solution is you gotta
I'm not moving. I'm not moving from Richmond. I'm not doing it.
Well, I'll just set my webcam up on playing the TV. I don't know. I'll figure something
Then
out.
secede from Virginia and join DC, and then technically you're in DC.
There you go. That's one way to make a geofence different.
Yeah, and I think Arthur, you had some idea to bring back some of the old games. I'm gonna go ahead and unmute you. So you like the idea of the old games? I think they should just play old games every week. That's
I mean, it's a trip down memory lane for those of us who've been around since the beginning. I saw a clip of Echeverry. I think it was on the MLS site, and you kind of forgot how great he was and what he meant to the team. And you try to put it into context of he was great back then. Would he be great now? I think so. Would the team that won the championships be able to compete in the league now? I think it's important that current fans, are able to look back and see where the team came from.
Yeah,
there's a lot of good stuff back then.
There's good stuff there, and then there's been a lot of players to move through this. In 25 years, there's enough content that they can find. I'm thinking of games where I'm thinking of the RSL game that finished 5-4, where Dero had a hat trick and scored from 6, whatever it was.
I think you're merging. I think that was. I remember there was a 4-1 where Dero scored a hat trick, and then there was that crazy 6-4 game with the Taylor Kemp
banana goal, left foot banana goal. There are enough from when they did,
or even a compilation of best game of the season for each season.
Yeah.
You can get 25 right there.
Yeah, there you go. That'll put us at least, it could be like 2 games a week. We're gonna do them on Wednesday and Friday or whatever, and then that becomes that's appointment viewing for me. What else am I doing? What else am I watching?
Or even a highlight reel of the season. You got 25 seasons.
Right. That's the thing. That's where I wish. That's one of those big blind spots for MLS teams is that any team in England, there's a DVD for every single season that has game by game highlights and however the season went. If you finished last, there's probably still a DVD season in review.
My college soccer team had that DVD.
Yeah.
And DC United does not.
DC United used to have it. They've had it in the past. They had it in 2015. I think I bought it. It's somewhere behind me.
I got the 2004 championship DVD.
Yeah, well, the championship DVD, clearly you make one, but there were no maybe it was the year they had the Open Cup. Why don't we have the Open Cup final as a thing that can be shared on TV?
The coffee pot cup.
Yeah, the Charleston Cup. I was watching. So I spent last week. I was just looking for any video on YouTube that had DC United that was over an hour and a half. I was like, that's got to be full games. So I'll throw them all in a playlist, and I watch what was I watching? The 2007 away opener against Colorado, which was also Colorado Rapids' first game in Dick's Sporting Goods Park. This was what I was doing at like 11 o'clock on a weeknight. I was like, man, I am really jonesing. This is bad. This is really bad. It's only been a month, and this is how I've degeneracy that I've fallen into here. It's not good.
Yeah, I just watch random sporting events like marble races.
I think this is a step up from marble racing. I feel like it is. I feel like it's marginally improvement from ESPN Ocho. As
Doesn't
But marble racing's online now too. There were like 20,000 people watching Marbula 1, and it was awesome.
doesn't the team have a like a FIFA pro online?
Yeah, so that's
player?
happening. Absolutely. They're now. So now there's a tournament, a player and pro tournament basically. So Paul Ariola and our whatever the guy's name is, that's our FIFA Pro champion for PS4, are facing off against other teams in like a round robin tournament, which they will air, I'm sure, on Twitch. It'll be better watching them than it would have been watching Ted and I play when we tried to Twitch stream. And that also, how boring those games were made me convinced to not buy the capture card that I was thinking about buying so that we could do this. Not doing it. It's no point. We will just stream. We'll just stream it. And if you're that bored, if it's between us and marble racing, maybe still go marble racing. I don't know. I'm very workmanlike FIFA. I can do a couple skill moves and just put it in the net. But yeah, I think so. That's certainly, esports are the only thing that's going to work, basically, right? So they're going to definitely, wring every last bit of content out of everything they can do. They're very, very, very desperate at the moment.
Yeah, I'm wondering how long like this goes as this continues and this kind of goes further, like how like desperate they're gonna be. I know USL decided to do an e-rocket, like the was it the cars? I don't even know.
Rocket League, yes. You're sounding like an old person here. With the cars, soccer, or whatever. I don't know. It's stupid.
Isn't Rocket League Pokemon?
Yeah, it's something like that. So Charizard runs into people in cars. Yeah, I can't. No, I will watch FIFA because like tangentially it's related to the thing that I'm caring about, I guess. But no Rocket League for me.
I want to make sure we get everybody to at least be able to say something. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna unmute Eric. Eric, do you have anything anything you want to add to the
Oh, I've been so sports starved. I was just gonna say, man, I've been watching that like Gels like Marbula 1. Like it is intense watching those marbles go around those tracks. No, I was wondering, where do you guys land on like Super Mario Strikers, like top tier GameCube? I want to see the MLS players.
Why not? We got time. There's certainly no reason not to try that.
Give me some backyard soccer. That's what I want. Give me.
God, Pablo overpowered, my dude.
Ben Olsen's in that in the MLS edition of that game too, which is always.
Oh, is he? God bless him.
Funny to watch.
God bless him.
Remember those old? I don't know. Well, this is a different sport, but I remember the old college football video games. You could play as a team of the mascot. So how about we have like a video game where you have 11 Talons going against, I don't know, 11 Rapids.
Rapid Man.
Rapids, whatever the plural is.
Rapid Man is I think that's definitely the way we go this year.
Rapid Man is a gem. Is an absolute gem. I will never. That was the underrated story. I think this year was that Rapid Man is back. So. And we might not get to see him, so he might go away very quickly. I'm just wondering, like, what they're going to do about, like, the 25th, like, this is, like, a big deal. It's, like, 25 years of MLS. They got Hans Zimmer to produce the new soundtrack that got played for, like, 2 weeks.
Well, technically next year's the 25th anniversary. They could just push everything to
They could fix their math. They could fix the funny math they were doing to make this 25 and just make it next year. I think that works. Everybody, we just pretend this whole thing did not happen. It just, the 2 games that happened, they weren't that exciting anyway. We got 3 points once, but did we really earn those 3 points? Let's just wipe it out. Start fresh. Everybody doesn't pay. 25th year officially. I think that's how. So this is not soccer related strictly. I guess we can figure out a way to convert this. So one of the crazy things that are going on about trying to figure out how we can continue to have sports in a world where there's no testing, there's no antibody testing, there's no vaccine, there's no treatment. They were going to put all the baseball teams in one state and keep them isolated from their families for 5 months and play 162 games in hot Arizona sun, because there's only one stadium there that's got a roof and they can't play every game there because there's too many teams. it sounds like the players are thinking that's not going to work, and it's not, and it's stupid, and
It's
they shouldn't.
terrible. I mean, first of all, they have them at hotels. Are the hotel staff going to live at the hotels?
I guess. I don't know.
Well,
All I know
You're
is
not
they're
paying them enough to live at the hotels.
So how I'm trying to think that how long would this have to go? How long would this sports desert have to continue to go before an idea as stupid as that would sound good to you? Like if there's no sports through September, are you starting to be like, all right, well, what if they just did like a mini tournament, like a 5v5, so less likelihood of injury? We'll just pick the best 5 players on DC United and Bill Hamid, and we'll put them on like a barge in the middle of the ocean, and then they'll play on that, and everybody will stay 6 feet away from each other, and that's what we'll have to do. Like, how many months does it have to go before we're like, all right, there's some merit to this idea? There's like the UFC guy Dana White trying to have a fight on the moon or whatever the hell he's trying to do. Like, I think at a certain point,
how's England proposing? Aren't they talking about
individual training? So I know that Germany is going to individual training in May, and they're hoping to get back started there pretty soon, because I think that they have, their numbers of contagion, I guess, are down, but still they face the same problems we do with antibody testing. I think that they may have a better handle on the amount of tests that they can probably afford to, be constantly testing their players, but maybe not. But they want to get going pretty soon. So that'll be a real big, and all guaranteed not in front of fans. They've already said that, like, no matter what they do for the rest of the season, there will be empty stadiums. But
I'm almost like, just don't come back. That's what I mean. Watching soccer,
they test their players every day, and then thousands of people go without any tests, even though they're actually sick.
I don't know what Germany's testing situation looks like, but I just know that is what they're currently talking about as far as their get back to go plan. I just think that it's everything, like I said before, it seems optimistic. It's not our country, so it's a little bit different. So they'll do their own risk management there. But I think it just like with baseball, there's this weird, and I think it's labor based, but there's a big compulsion, like, we can't not have this year happen. We can't not have a winner for this season. And I know certain Liverpool fans would agree with that we have to play this out. It has to be done. Who cares what happens? They must have their parade, even if there's no one there. But like,
do you mind if I hop in just for a second?
Yeah, please.
I just want to say, if you want to compare this to baseball, football, it's kind of weird. MLS, as far as I'm aware, I'm a semi-recent DC United fan. Like 2014 was my first year. But many other American sports leagues have had strikes that have ended the season. So it's not like the NFL is not here anymore. It's not like MLB no longer exists. I think that there is enough, at least at this point in time, interest in Major League Soccer to, continue if they have to cut the season short. And I think that's what a lot of the current ownership groups are afraid of, is that, we cut the season short, everyone's going to forget about Carlos Vela. And like, I'm not. I don't know.
Right. Yeah, I mean, and also so much of their marketing is all about some markets have given up on like finding new fans. They're just basically like, we know that there's soccer fans here. They're going to come back if there's a soccer team. We'll market to them. So I feel like freezing the league and not coming back till next year hurts your casual fans, but welcome back. Like if they don't play at all, we're not gonna be like, you know what? I'm gonna like basketball more. I don't think I like soccer anymore because they skipped a year. I think you're right, but I think it's more like in the other sports, it's about the players, and I think over there too, a lot of the players are more so than management are like, I want to get back out there. I want to finish the season. I'm going crazy like everyone is, but they want to be different. they would like to play anyway.
Yeah, I guess the only thing is I'm trying to remember whether I knew the last sport to really kind of just lose their entire season was the NHL back in, I want to say 2004, 2003.
2004, 05, I think.
Yeah, so I'm curious. I know they've rebounded very well, but I'd be very curious. I guess, you can people kind of lump, MLS and NHL together. If MLS, lost their season, what type of impact that would have.
The good thing is everyone loses their season, right? Like
exactly. If everyone loses their season, then so it's different.
And there's nowhere to hide except for a marble league. So
I still think that there's going to be one league that's going to, I don't know, buck the trend.
It would have been the XFL, but they
that'll last all of 2 weeks until someone gets sick and they have to shut it down again.
Clearly, if there was any extreme league that was going to defy medical guidance, it was going to be the XFL, and they pulled themselves off the field. So
and then they went bankrupt and
clearly, yeah. So I think everyone. college football is the wild card for me. I feel like college football has such a rogue, like such a large economic impact on so many parts of the country that particularly some of the states potentially that don't have stay in place orders at the moment, that I saw a commercial yesterday with, and yes, also it's a league with TV rights, like college football is sort of dependent on that. But they've even been trying to appeal to college football coaches to tell people to stay inside because because the threat that they could lose the ability to have a college football season, say, in the SEC, in SEC country, is almost unfathomable to many people. So
well, China's reopened. China's reopening. We can send the NBA over there and play.
Yeah, they can play in Wuhan.
Right?
They're allowed to use Metro and everything over there now. So you're right. That's the one place we can send people to. You're right. They know the testing. They've got all the field hospitals ready to go. So, yeah. Does anybody have any? So I think an hour is good considering there's no games and there's nothing else going on. Does anybody else have any closing thoughts? How they're trying to? So how I'm staying sane is I'm watching the same shows that I've always watched over and over again. And instead of doing something like I have this opportunity to expand my horizons and watch new things, I'm not doing any of that. I'm just solely comfort television. That's really the way I'm doing. I watched Sunderland Till I Die season 2. Which just made me sad and miserable in ways that this like TV during this right now should not be. But is anyone doing anything interesting to keep their spirits up? And
well, I write for Stadium Journey. I think you had me on last year to discuss Loudon Stadium. So we are at some point, I don't have a date yet, we are publishing a ranking of all the major sports stadiums in the DC area, so I'm not going to spoil anything, but be sure to read it when it comes out.
FedEx Field will be number 1, my projection. No, I'm just kidding. Rich, you wanted to jump in. Go ahead, my friend.
Hey, I just wanted to say this is really putting a damper on my planned trips. Last year I went to a few stadiums, Chicago and Portland. I had a great time there. And I went to Orlando. It was awesome. But I was watching this thing called This Is Soccer. It's on Amazon Prime. And it's only like a 6-part series, but I've watched the first couple of them. It's amazing. And if you want to feel good about soccer, it's a really cool thing. The second one, I think, is about the first one's about Arsenal fans or something in Africa. And then the second one's about the women's national team, which is really cool. So if anybody wants to watch that, that's a really cool thing. And that's one thing that's kept my spirits up of not seeing soccer. So thanks for hosting, guys. I appreciate it.
The Arsenal fans in Africa episode's great. I remember watching that and being kind of emotionally affected by it. So it was a really good episode.
Yeah, I want to bring up the damper part because I was supposed to take a trip down to Florida. I was going to go see them play in Inter Miami, DC, and then like they had the game in the week where they were going to play in Orlando. I was probably going to get beat up in Orlando because I angered the entire Orlando fan base, but it still would have been fun to go. Yeah, it's not happening. And I guess the English game is another thing I guess I watched, so I kept up with that. So I've just been kind of watching television. I've been trying to, I guess, stay somewhat active and work out as much as I can to try to prevent myself from going crazy. And it's hard because I also work from home, so just stuck at home.
Yeah, I have the amount of snacking that's going on is out of control.
I just want to say, can I?
Yeah, please.
If you have like housemates that are not at all about soccer and they're just like, Eric, shut up about DC United for like a second. The English game is a great way. If they've seen, Downton Abbey, they'll get into it. So I got my house to watch that. And that was really fun. One minor thing that, I don't know if any new fans are ever going to listen to this. I hope they do. But big song and chant guy in the stadium myself. The tune is not ole 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 ole. It doesn't go on for like ad infinitum. It's ole 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 ole. It has like a nice harmonic like thing going on. Anyway, that's a pet peeve. Little. Anyway.
Hey, this is your chance. This was a opportunity. You had an audience. I agree. Follow the bouncing ball, guys. Get it right. So otherwise, there's no resolution for the melody, and that just drives some people crazy.
Well, unmute Dan. Dan, you got in there in the beginning. Got anything you want to add?
No, just eating everything in the house, making all the dishes dirty. Started Couch to 5K.
Good for you.
With my wife. So, I'm a lapsed marathoner, and I hadn't run in over a year, I think.
And just
taking
John's
advantage of not having a commute. So
same.
John's about to have a kid, so I'm pretty sure next time we do like a podcast, do a video podcast, he will probably have gained like 10 pounds, 20 pounds maybe.
By now, I mean, it's already happened, man. Below camera line is just a disaster. That's sort of the way it's going right now. So I have matched my wife, and I'm not even carrying a child probably. So we're hoping there's still theoretically 2 weeks till due date. I'm getting vibes that it's going to be before that, but you'll probably see me on here again before I'm wondering if I'm going to podcast while holding a sleeping baby. I feel like that's probably dangerous, and I shouldn't do that. I should probably just retire to the basement and do my thing down here for an hour, but we'll see. I'll get crazy with it. Anyway, thanks for helping us do this experiment. I think it went reasonably well. I think we all want to see and talk to people that aren't our coworkers or our significant others occasionally. So I think this is probably a good thing.
No, we love our significant others, John. We love them. We never want to be apart from them. That's exactly what we should say.
Yes. True. Facts. Anyway, thanks, guys. We don't have a song to close, so we're just going to end the episode.
Our producer's going to end us out. We struggle a little bit. But anyway, thank you all so much for listening. Patreon.com/RFreeRefugees if you listen on the podcast. RFreeRefugees.com, Twitter.com/RFreeRefugees. Check us out, and we will catch you all next week. Vamos.
Vamos.